Within the earth, from waters blue, fairies are whispering to me and to you.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, hello there.
I'm Per Casely, the Fairy Whisperer. In the air of sylvan nights, we'll find our way by fairy light. Fairies whisper throughout the land. It's time to walk hand in hand. To catch a fairy whisper, you have to listen closely. Listen with me. Hello and welcome to the Fairy Whispering Podcast. I'm your host, Claire Casely, wishing you all a bountiful Mabon. Here we stand within the liminal doorway to Faerie, embracing the elemental energies of water and choosing what we will flow forward with as the light recedes. We return to the warmth of the hollow within the mother cave, where visions of our vernal rebirth and that of the earth dance amidst flickering flames. We can cast a spell for peace by letting a stone drop into the flow of a morning stream, or breathe our dreams of what we wish to birth for ourselves and the earth into a hazelnut shell, then cast it onto the evening fire. We hold the sacred waters within us and have the power to effect significant change. Let's stand together and become the torrent of love and peace that we all seek. May the earth ground our intentions, fire manifest them, and air communicate them to all living beings. If you are struggling to find peace and sacred space at the moment, I have included a link to my meditation series, Fairy Heart Awakening, which you'll find in the episode description. These meditations will lead you into the world of fairies on a journey of self-discovery through a series of initiations. I felt inspired to record these meditations to help others find peace and healing during the global period of confinement at home during 2020. I hope these meditations bring some relief and healing to all those who choose to embark on this journey, which was channeled from the fairies and is a gift from my heart to yours. Remember to follow the podcast wherever you listen so you're notified of new episodes. And if you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and give this episode a like. Thank you. In this episode of the Fairy Whispering Podcast, I speak with Lisette. She and her husband are the custodians of a magical woodland in Devon. We recorded this interview on a chilly day in March this year, and I was pleased to be welcomed into the couple's cosy yurt. Lisette shares about her journey of discovering this sacred space with her husband. She shares the mystical experience that led her and her husband to this land, and the moment they first encountered the woodland, feeling the energy shift as they expressed their intentions to the spirits residing there. We discuss her growing connection to the land, the fairies, and the healing transformation she has experienced since living in the woodland and attuning to the natural world. We also explore the challenges she faced with her health and how the woodland has become a sanctuary for not only her, but for many who seek solace and inspiration within its embrace. I am one of those lucky people who has connected with this woodland and experienced its energies and fairies. Throughout our conversation, we emphasise the importance of gratitude, the power of intention, and how the energies of the land resonate with those who visit. I love to record episodes on location where possible. It creates a richer soundscape than recording online. While I know some of my listeners tune in while driving or doing other things, I'm the same. I recommend listening to these on-location episodes through headphones so that you can fully appreciate all the sounds within the environment. Deeper listening, free from distractions, also provides a space to pause, let go of daily care, and fully immerse yourself in the episode. As we wander through the woodland, we discuss the importance of nurturing our connection to the earth and the transformative power of nature. At the woodland's sacred heart, a yurt which is used for community events, we are heralded by the call of the raven, who is the guardian of the woodland. You'll hear his croaks several times throughout the interview. We took time to meditate and tune into the messages from the woodland. Lisette shares a message from the elementals and her insights into the rituals and practices that honour the land and its inhabitants, encouraging us all to listen closely to the whispers of the fairies. Enjoy this gentle and calming episode. May it bring enchantment into your heart and peace. Hello, welcome to the Fairy Whispering podcast. I'm sat in a really beautiful warm yurt somewhere in South Devon, and I'm meeting with Lisette, who is one of the custodians of a magical piece of land. So hello, Lisette. Welcome to the Fairy Whispering podcast, and thank you for welcoming me to your beautiful sacred space.
You have been welcomed by all, I have to say. They're very happy you're here, as am I.
Oh, it's lovely. And by them, we're talking about
everyone who is resident in this woodland, and there's a lot of them.
Just wanted to say something about my drive here. It was very misty and I had to put on my fog lights at one stage because it's just very otherworldly, and I felt like I was crossing the veil driving here, and this place definitely feels out of time. Before we start, as a way to lead us into your story and about this place and your experience of finding this place, to pull a card from the Forest Fae Oracle by Nadia Turner. Would you like to take one? Is that?
I have a very haphazard way of drawing cards, which is I just let the universe decide which one's going to fall out of the pack. Sometimes it's obvious and sometimes it isn't. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Just the one. I need my glasses on for that.
Oh, the Northwood Fae. Take time for hibernation and healing.
Well, that's exactly what's going on at the moment. And the north of the wood is where we're going to end up.
Yes.
Go for our little walk.
Yes.
So that's very apt. I say I always trust when they fall.
Fantastic. So shall we start with your story of finding the woodland, or wherever you want to start with that story? Leave out whatever you want to leave out.
Well, there is a bigger backstory, which I won't go into right now because we're going to focus on the wood and its inhabitants, but it's been obviously a lifetime in the making. And the fact that I came here with my partner, who was already very open to seeing, and I was just kind of coming back into, after a long illness, coming back into my faculties, so to speak, that we all have innately, and they're just very shut down because of how we live. And we'd been looking for a piece of land together to live off-grid, be close to nature, and couldn't find anything. And then I said to him, surely there must be something. What can we do? And he said, well, let's ask the universe. Let's write a list. And it was a very exact list, and it had that it needed water, it needed south-facing slopes, it needed to be at least within an hour of his children, so it was easy to get to, but down a mile down, literally a mile down a track, so it was out of the way, and within our price range. Well, we didn't get all of them, but we got all the ones that we were hoping for, and then plus. And this place magically came onto our radar because I just happened to say to Mark, we've exhausted all of our avenues, we've looked everywhere, we've gone through the normal channels. Who else can we ask? And then he went, oh, there's a chap in the village who buys and sells woodlands for a living. Let's just say I gritted my teeth and went, right, off you go and have a word with him. And so he did, and he showed him a couple of places that weren't very suitable, and a chap that had been working both with Mark and this other chap had said, oh, has he shown you this piece in Devon? And we went, no. He said, well, I've been working there, I think it would be ideal for you guys. So we twisted this guy's arm, because obviously it wasn't on the market at that point. No one else had seen it, luckily for us. So he gave in, and we came, and immediately coming through the gate, I got this sense of, ooh, this is really weird. The wood doesn't feel like it wants us to be here. There was a kind of what do you want? Why are you here, humans? And of course, this was still quite new to me at that point, and I said to Mark, are you picking that up? He said, well, we haven't stated why we're here. We haven't stated our intentions. Let's do that. So we said what our intentions were, what we were planning to do. And then, I'm not kidding you, I definitely felt this energy kind of just lifting from the base of my feet and just coming all the way up and over my head. And this kind of whee. And then this lightness, this kind of effervescent lightness filling me. And then this laughter and dancing and singing. And I was like, what is going on? You know? And Mark said, well, I think they're saying welcome. And I went, okay, I can deal with that. And at that point, I was still quite weak with my illness and couldn't walk very far. But that energy gave me enough impetus to actually go up the hill and sit to where we are now and just imagine living here, you know, while Mark kind of went around everywhere else. And then almost a year later, we managed to, well, call it buy. I don't like using that word, actually. I like to think that the universe conspired and the synchronicities were all in place that enabled us to, and that we didn't give up hope. And I'd had a wonderful message from a lady where I was living in Cornwall at the time, a neighbour of mine who got messages, said, I have to come round and I have to tell you something. I said, well, come over for dinner. So she did. She said, it's very insistent, this voice, really insistent, and I don't think it's human. because she normally deals with kind of deceased people speaking through her. She said, this is really different and very deep. And I said, well, what does it say? And she said, fortune favours the brave. And I'll tell you what, that just went right to my heart. And I just went, okay, well, we're good then. Because we found this place. And this is it. Mm-hmm. My back of my head's gone. And even though we had, it was almost like there was a test of our nerve as to how we could manage to do this, because the price was the only thing that was really out of our reach at that time. But it took a year to get that together, and the chap waited for us. Now, this is very unusual if you think about people who are buying and selling land. Mm-hmm. They're normally in it for the best price, and he could have sold this place for double if it had gone to open market. He waited for us because he knew we were going to run this as a conservation woodland, and our intentions were really good. We weren't going to chop it into small pieces or parcel it up into small pieces and sell it on like a lot of people do, and that we were going to love and care for this land. And it was a beautiful thing. So 10 years later, here we are living the dream, and people like yourself who, and we're ready to kind of tell our story. Mm-hmm. And I always likened it to build it and they will come. So having built our outdoor shelter for venue stuff, it's been a steady stream of people who have been guided to us, not me going and seeking them. So I know it's a very authentic experience of, and even with yourself, through a friend reaching out to you, and then me writing something to you, and then not hearing from you and going, oh, well, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And then once I'd let it go fully, there you were. So that was amazing. And it's just been, it's just been that singing and dancing from our friends here ever since. That hasn't stopped. It's only got more as more have come in. Now they see that the place is being cared for properly, and the energies are being restored, and the way that we're caring for the land and we're regenerating the land, and the type of activities we do here, which are very much focused on earth care and self-care, which are in themselves completely linked. Yes. You can't have one without the other. So, and about inspiring people, so when people come here, they can take some of that energy, or they're infused with that energy, I should say. They don't take it, the wood gives it freely. Mm-hmm. And they go away, they're inspired, and that's part of our remit, part of what we do. And then obviously if people see a bit more when they're here, I always allow people, I just, I don't give anything away, I just nod with a knowing smile. If someone says, oh, I've just seen this, I go, oh, yes. Because I don't like to influence people, and it would be so easy to just go, we've got this and this and this, and then it's kind of like, no, just, because they're very secretive, and it takes a lot to gain trust, and you can go through certain thresholds of trust and them letting you in. And there's been a lot going on. That's all I'm allowed to say. They zipped me, luckily.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I mean, from my fairy connection, I never take it for granted, because as you say, I've been allowed in. I don't know how far I've been allowed in, but I've been allowed into a certain way. And But I don't take that for granted. I don't, because it is so precious, that connection. I want people to know that there's something else outside of our ordinary consensus of reality, because I think people need to know that there's more than that ordinary consensus reality.
So much more.
People.
I found out that there's only 1% available to us with our vision, our normal vision. So if you imagine opening up, and when your third eye opens and you have experiences, and even then that's just a glimpse of what is out there. I mean, I've had the most fantastical journeys, because I'm a Reiki practitioner, and I kind of work naturally in a shamanic. I don't call myself a shaman. I work in a shamanic way. I do a lot of journey work just naturally with people, and don't have any expectation of where we go or what's going to happen, and things just unfold as they're meant to, as far as people are meant to see. And it never ceases to amaze me, I mean, I'm just getting such a buzz just talking about it.
Yeah, and this place, I mean, the first time I came and you showed me around, and we sat in your special ceremonial yurt, and that was an amazing experience, because the energy there, similar to this space, I just instantly went into a calm space where I was receiving information, and just we went into a meditation, didn't we, very naturally. And then when I came out of that meditation, I shared what I'd seen, and you'd seen something very, well, almost the same, really, similar.
When you described it, we had the same experience. Like, really spot on.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a beautiful space.
So you're going off into a dream now, you see, remembering it.
I am. I'm going right into this really
You've forgotten
dreamy...
all your questions now.
I've
been transported back into the space, and you're ready for a transmission.
Yeah, I think it will inspire people to hear a bit about your journey to well-being, and also about this journey from, I don't know how to say it, but maybe more of a sort of ordinary kind of life.
I call it my vanilla life.
Vanilla life.
It tastes nice, but it's just the one flavour.
Yeah. So Lisette's journey from vanilla life to this amazing space she's in now.
which is all colours of the rainbow, because that's the bandwidth which is the full spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, I've kind of been plagued a little bit with ill health from, I would say, a lot of it is stress related, but also an autoimmune response to gut problems. So when I was at university, the stress from that, but also getting run down, and what was it? There was something that I'd eaten that had given me really, really bad stomach, and then that coupled with the what do you call them, the things that I don't have at all, the antibiotics. 3 lots of that for tonsillitis that just wouldn't go, and that made me really unwell. My mum, bless her, introduced me to a herbalist, and that helped a little bit, but that kind of opened a door for me into alternative medicines. I kind of slowly regained myself after about a year and a half, and then the second time that it happened, again, I'd caught the flu and just didn't recover from it, and I was in a managerial position at the time. And yeah, that was another real blow, and I was not good. And all the doctors are just plying you with more and more pharmaceuticals and not really talking about the alternative things that you can do. So it took me a lot longer to get over that time, but I did. And then the third time it happened, that was when I was a teacher, and that really I just didn't get better. And I was ill for 8 years, so I had to give up teaching. Luckily, I was able to kind of recuperate, but then my marriage ended because of it, because I'd kind of been written off by the doctors as having very severe fibromyalgia that I wasn't going to get any better from, and just to rest and be consigned that I'd be in a wheelchair type thing, been written off, which kind of mentally, that just kind of the lid on the coffin, so to speak, and on my marriage. So I was at rock bottom. I mean, I literally just didn't want to go on. It was that bad. My family were brilliant. I came back over here because I was in Ireland at the time, came back over, and they took care of me for a bit. And then I moved into a place that was next to an art studio, and in an area where I was near friends, and was starting to find myself a little bit through my artwork, because I'm an artist like yourself, got a lot in common. And then my now partner, found me. We'd been school friends, and I'd changed my name back to my maiden name, and he found me on Facebook. Fancy that. And within 6 months I'd moved to Cornwall to be nearer to him. And he was like, he took one look at me and said, "We can do something about this. We can. I know we can. Because you know that most of this is in your head, don't you?" And I was like, okay. Didn't agree with that at the time. So we went through various things. I won't go into all the details, but having moved away from a slightly more built-up area, I mean, I'd always had one foot in nature. I'd always felt that I needed to, or have my house full of plants, like completely have green around me. So I started doing my artwork again, and was recuperating in Cornwall, and he was flitting to and from, and that was when we'd started looking for the land. And when I started getting kind of messages through and things like that, and as kind of the fog started clearing, and a big part of that was from detoxing from being really overloaded with candida. Now, the doctors won't tell you that because they think it's related to when you have chemo.
Right.
So they won't give you that information. But I went on a candida-free diet. I'd been in pain for that whole time, all that 8 years, constant pain. Within 2 months, went through the most terrible detox, but I stuck with it. And I woke up one morning, I was like, there's something different here. I was like, what is that? And it was almost like I can move without being in pain. It was a revelation. So needless to say, I stuck with that diet for another 4 years because I did not want to go back. And within that time, I found a few other things. There was a kinesiologist that I went to who had a holism approach, who was amazing, who got me on the right, balancing all the things, the nutrients that I needed. And there were various other things that I did. And if any of your listeners want to reach out, I'm happy to share the story. There might be a couple of changes I'm making it, but I'm happy to share it. But also that I'd found love, like my true love, because he's my twin flame. And I should have known that when we were friends at school when we were 13. But the friendship and the trust was there and already deeply embedded. And we found that we'd been crossing each other's paths all our lives, basically.
It's amazing.
So we were always meant to be together. And it's been this massive shift. But because he is naturally, and I've resisted it though, a very good channel. Like amazing channel. And things were starting to come through him to speak to me because I was still very kind of boxed off. And I was getting some information through, and then I'd call him, and there was a name that I would call him, and it was very relevant to what we are here now, and him me, and it was like, and we were doing that back then. I wasn't really realising it. So I just started kind of coming into my healer self because I was almost healed. And that's when you really find your power, because you've gone through this transformation. So I was starting to open up, and then when I did my first Reiki, got my Reiki symbols put in, there were some just incredible things starting to happen, because I was just the doors that had been kind of quite firmly shut, and I think I'd shut them on myself because I was so empathic as a kid. It was kind of like, this is too painful, I've just got to shut it down. Same with my heart. Heart got broken, I'm going to shut it down. So it's been all this time kind of reopening. So this is a constant, it's a work in progress every day. I call it like, if you're an athlete and you want to stay fit, you keep training, don't you?
Yes.
It's the same with this process. You don't just sit on your laurels and just go, enough is happening. As we do. Yes, unless you're really fortunate, or you're helping stuff along. But yeah, I was kind of told that very early on by angelic guides. They were the first kind of guides that came through, that I needed to do things very naturally and be in touch with the earth as much as possible for my healing to really be complete. And through that, and obviously I'd always been a bit of a nature girl anyway, so for us to find the woods, and then the woods just go, right, we're really going to help expedite this process now. So, and I knew that from that very first walk that I took, and being able to do it in the first place, and then not have any after effects from it, not be in bed for a week with bad legs because I'd taken a walk that I wouldn't normally have been able to. So that was a complete revelation. Wow. So I knew at that point that this was an incredible place, a real amazing healing place, and that would be part of this journey. And then later on, it was kind of like, well, how can we share that? Because we could have easily just gone, right, okay, we're good, gates closed, we're here, going to make the most of it. And it was like, no, actually, the universe is calling out for us to go, okay, you've had your journey, well, maybe you can share this with others, and so they can see that it's possible, that anything is possible, because just the very fact that we're here, despite what everybody was saying about, oh, it's really difficult to do this, or you won't be able to get well, or that kind of thing, the belief, our belief and our trust in this process, as well as the amount of extra help, because we're like now tapping in and going, we kind of know we don't know all the right questions, but they say if you don't ask, then we can't really help you. Our hands are tied. You have to ask. Yeah. But it's knowing the right questions to ask, and also doing it in a way that is giving, rather than it's all just about taking. So if there's a balance and you trust in that, what you give you will receive, and it's a beautiful interplay of the universe. That when you've got the Om sound and it goes with the figure of 8, the infinity sign,
yes, and
all of those, it's all reciprocal, and it all comes back to itself. It's a beautiful dance. So that's what we've been doing. and we maintain ourselves. And as we're getting older, because this has been a big project for us. It's it's a 12.5 acres of woodland. It's a big project, and to get to where we are, we've had to really maintain and look after ourselves, but also ask for help. So we kind of balance that. So it's not like we're doing it every day. Because if they go, no, you know that, you just got to look. And the more and more, I think the further up you go, the more and more they say, no, look within. Trust yourself, trust your heart. Don't be in your mind. Get out of your mind and be with your heart. And work from that space and breathe from that space and be in nature will help expedite that and help expand it. And that's what it's done. And my teacher, or one of my teachers, bless him, was a beech tree. And he was the one that had said that initial fortune favours the brave. Oh. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Our Entish friends, who are incredible. So once you tap in to that network, which is ultimately is the mycelium network, which is tapped into everything, planetary-wide, and above, you start seeing the full scope of, wow, there are a lot of beings who are on our side who want us to evolve. They're really here to help us. So it's been a beautiful journey and a healing journey and collaborative.
So inspiring to hear that. And anyone listening to Lisette's story, I mean, I'm inspired. Anyone listening, I hope that if you're suffering from any health issues or illness, that inspires you. Yeah, beautiful.
It's very much about belief in yourself and belief in the process, but being in nature is the one thing over everything else, really, that you can do every day. Even if you're in the city, you can bring nature into your home by just having if you've got a windowsill, just having something that you're growing. Just having a plant that's growing in your home the energy of that can lift.
Yeah,
it's a simple thing, but also being grateful to nature, saying thank you to nature, saying thank you to your food empowers you. We got this message just recently, and I feel really embarrassed that I haven't been doing that really consciously. It's in the back of my head, but actually saying thank you to my food as I'm preparing it, as I'm picking it, as I'm growing it, all of it. And the Davers have said to us, you get the nutrition and the energy from that food. Doesn't matter what it is, because we're vegan, and I'm very staunchly vegan because say no more really. But she kind of said it doesn't matter if it's an animal or a plant. You need to be able to say thank you to it, because they're all living things, all of them, and they all have energy. It's about the transference of energy, and the receiving of that energy and gratitude will expedite the full effects of the nutritional value of that.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And I have to say, since we've been doing that, and I've been very consciously just preparing my food, going up to my carrot and going, thank you so much. I mean, I would do it, naturally when I'm growing my food and I'm harvesting my food, or if I'm cutting anything, I will always say thank you outside. But it hadn't really occurred to me to do it as I was preparing or as I was eating it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in a lot of cultures they will have say grace and say thanks to the food, but it's actually as you are. It's like mindful eating.
Yeah.
So every mouthful you have, you're being grateful for every mouthful.
That's so lovely to practice mindfulness on that level. I just have to explain that to people listening that Lisette's yurt has this wonderful, is it a skylight? What do you call that?
You could liken it to a skylight,
like a skylight.
I guess. It's the yurt wheel, and it's obviously an integral part of the structure because the roof poles go into it. But obviously it's the main source of light because we're a little bit unusual because we've modified this yurt and we've got a much bigger doorway than most yurts would have because the traditional Mongolian ones are quite short, aren't they? Quite hobbity, and they don't normally have glass in them because they have to transport them, so they have stuff that they can't break. But we have much bigger wheels here to let in more light, and then it's called a star cap that's on the top, and you can just pull it to one side during the summer and then you get the air coming through. But yes, they naturally, because living in the round, and it's the same with the shelter, which is why we constructed it the way we did, that it naturally brings you into a vortex. So the energies never get stagnant.
Yeah.
That they do in a house, they get stuck in corners.
Yes.
So it's quite easy just to do a whoop, 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 and then out it goes. Anything that you don't want.
Yeah, it's a wonderful dreaming space. We were talking about ask the beings, ask the fairies for what you want. So something that I'm manifesting at the moment is a home. As we were talking, I was just seeing this little house with the door open, and I was looking into the kitchen, and I was walking down this pathway to this open door, and there was all this beautiful pink blossom, like just flowing towards me. It's amazing. That was the space I was being taken into, and I was trying to remain here.
This happens a lot with people who sat talking to me, and I'm like, they're going off in a dreamy state, and I'm like, where are you going? And I'm just, a lot of it is going off and having a fly, I have to say.
Yeah. I could quite easily have just walked into that house, and yeah. So, but that's amazing. That the heart, yes, talking about the heart. So I say that my fairy connection comes from the heart. And coming into nature helps to lift the heart, doesn't it? And so, and for us to connect with the heart, going through what I'm going through at the moment, through grief or any sort of difficulty, tends to suppress that heart energy. You know, I can really feel it at the moment. But as soon as I've come into this space today, and even driving to see you, my heart started to lift. And, you know, and I was noticing it, because I was thinking, oh, how's my heart today? It feels a bit heavy. But I'm going to see Lisette and the wood, and I'm coming into the space. It just feels a few layers have lifted away. Yeah.
It's funny because people for the first time that they come here, and we're down the topography of kind of the area, we're in a valley, so it's kind of like a microclimate here, but also the energies, because of what's underground, basically, they get to a certain point at the top of the hill where you come down all the way down that very long hill to get to us, and we call that Magic Valley. And the number of people that have said, it's almost like I start feeling the wood and I feel the energies as soon as I turn that corner and come down. And we used to joke about it. And my partner would go, when we used to come here at the beginning, and we'd just be here at weekends working and doing stuff before we moved here, he'd turn the corner and go, right, you are now entering Magic Valley. You'd say that so often, I kind of go, oh, come on. But then you just kind of click in. And so many people have said that, I mean, it's undeniable that the energies just make you go, ooh, I'm just going to leave. And we often say to people, the wood takes your dusty overcoat off at the gate, shakes it off and says, yeah, hang that up for you, and it'll be a lot lighter when you come back. And everyone feels that. They feel like, they feel refreshed. They feel like something has lifted. They've got rid of something, or something has shifted in them, that they've managed to kind of click into a new way of thinking or being, and they feel better.
Yes. That's so powerful and so valuable to anyone, really.
Well, I think particularly recently we've been getting a lot more feedback from people who are kind of in the know, saying, well, actually, and the general public saying, we feel, and they put their hand on their heart when they say it, we feel the amount of love that is in this place. It's quite magic, isn't it? And I just smile and nod and was like, yes, that's exactly how I felt the very first time I stepped through the gate. You know, and it's beautiful that so many people, I mean, practically everybody, I would say, who comes through the gate has an effect on them. And if they're not that way inclined at all, then they don't feel very well, because they've got so much resistance in them. They immediately start detoxing. To say, there's been a couple of people who are heavy smokers or drinkers who've come in and they've been very uncomfortable here. They haven't been able to stay very long, and the wood is kind of going, well, this stuff isn't good for you. Let's try and get it out.
Yeah.
So if there is resistance, there will be there's a reason that you're holding a lot of stuff. So that's why it's really good for people to come here, and why we do the kind of work that we do here. It helps.
You're completely off grid, aren't you?
We are. Yes, and that was another thing that was making me ill, was electromagnetic frequencies. So all the stuff, all your MiFis, your gadgets, your phones, because if you're in a built-up area, you can't escape it, because, you know, even if you've switched off your stuff, Joe Bloggs next door will have theirs on, and the range is, I don't know how many meters. And then we've got, obviously, we're being bombarded from the sky as well now. 5G, don't get me started with 5G. So, yeah, we're basically going to have to wander around with tinfoil on our heads, I think, from now on. But there's a certain amount of protection that we have here, and people feel that when they come here. And we call it a digital detox. I've even got a T-shirt with that on.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So they feel that. So we always say to people that if you can be without your gadgets while you're here, that is going to, again, help with any of the healing work that's going on. You know, because so many people like sleep with their phones in the same room, or charge their phones near their head. If you think about that amount of radiation, so I'm actually going through a detox from that, because I'm so sensitive to it. I mean, that's the only downside, is that I'm uber sensitive when I go out, and I have to kind of put a big of my own shield up whenever I go out, but that does work. But I am detoxing from it at the moment. I am a hermit. I say I'm a real. I've always been a bit of a loner, and I think when you are walking the path, especially as a healer as well, you do kind of close yourself off a little bit. And I've on and off dipped in and out of that throughout my life, but having obviously lived here and the seclusion that we have here, and then obviously when I was teaching, I'd be going out and I'd have my own little bubble that I'd have when I'd be in school, and it'd be fine. And I'd come back here and I'd be like, right, okay, I can take it off, I can breathe properly, you know. But then when we had lockdown, and it was kind of enforced, and it was a bit of a busman's holiday for me, really. We get on with all our stuff here. And because I'd had that amount of time of not going out at all, it was like, I'm really actually enjoying not going out.
Yeah.
And I don't have a car anymore. So that again kind of say keeps me here, but I don't miss it. I don't feel the need because the right people are coming here, and I get a lot of interactions with people, but it's the people I'm meant to be interacting with, you know.
Yes, that's so important.
Yeah.
When you're empathic and sensitive. Yeah. Speaking as someone who's empathic and sensitive and living on a housing estate and coping with, you know.
Yes, you have to really put up a very strong protective bubble around your living space. When you're that empathic, it's it can send you bonkers otherwise. And I mean, obviously, I'd shut all that down before because it was too much.
Yeah.
And it took me that many years to come back to where I really should be. And then once I got to that stage, and then the final kind of lid was blown off, which was when I got my Reiki Masters, it was kind of like, hang on to your hat, sister. It's there is so much. It's such a wild ride, and it's just a question of being the observer. This is what we're being told right now. Be the observer and be equanimous with that observation. Which can be quite difficult sometimes, especially with all the craziness that's going on.
Yes.
Which is why, you know, we don't have a TV. I haven't had a TV for like 15 years. But I still, you know, my phone is really... it's really my last bad habit. But, yeah.
Before we came out for a wander, drew some cards from the Oracle deck I brought with me, and it's really strange, wasn't it? Because it kind of predicted which way we were going to go in the woods. Which I didn't know, but Lisette knew.
The exact direction as well.
Yeah, the exact direction.
And the guardian of that direction, let's say.
Yeah.
Because there are different guardians for different areas. There are different guardians for different types of trees. You know, the grasses, the flowers, everything has a different deva to it. So nature spirit. So you can tap into literally anything. You know, a rock, a load of grass, all of it. So do you want the shortcut or the long cut? Let's go down this way.
Let's go down this way.
So my tree teacher, I used to go and sit under him for about 6 months. I'd go down as part of my practice each morning and sit under him for about half an hour meditation, and he would show me stuff and basically was just basically teaching me about the true interconnectivity of everything, and that us humans have so divorced ourselves and we've lost that, which is why we've, you know, been trashing the planet and not looking after it. And if we were really connected back in, we'd realise that, you know, you trash where you live, you're trashing yourself. You know, this body is the same as this body.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe Donald Trump should come and spend a few weeks.
Don't worry, we're sending him love every day, as we do to all beings. Because we see everyone is interconnected, so, you know, Donald is me, Donald is you.
Yes.
And it's all part of the same thing. And when you can kind of see it in a really light way. Not as in light or dark, but as in kind of more light-hearted. Like, this is all the play of experience. And we're here to experience life. And we've just been given these beautiful avatars to do it in. But we're all spirit, we're all energy at the end of the day, and energy is all connected to each other.
Yes.
And the start of bluebells, they're starting to peek through here. We're about 2 weeks behind a lot of places because we're in this microclimate, and we come off a little bit late. So the anticipation, because you can really feel the energy because the bluebells carpet the whole wood. You can feel them all starting to push through that greenness coming up. So this kind of carpet of brown leaves at the moment will be replaced by green very soon.
Amazing.
It's very exciting.
I just know from, there's a place on Dartmoor called Emsworthy Mire, near Hantor, between Hantor and Saddletor, and at the end of May every year, that is absolutely carpeted in bluebells, and the energy from that place is just incredible. It's so overpowering.
You only get that from ancient places because they've been allowed to establish fully. They haven't been mucked about, because this place, before we came, had been left as part of a bigger piece of farmland, and had only been used for kind of pheasant shooting and dumping farm rubbish, to be honest. So it hadn't really been cared for properly for a long time, since the war, actually. So there was a lot of clearing up and having to kind of look at what is it that the land is okay with. We ask permission at every stage of everything that we've done. So we're walking along the tracks at the moment, and we stuck to what is called the original rides. So they would have been kind of like a single walking path, and extended it so we can get our vehicles down here. But we've kept the original lay of the land because that's what the land wanted. We asked permission. And when we first came to, we always had the end area in mind for this turning circle, basically because we needed to, because it's a working woodland as well as being a very magical woodland. Yes. And so that we could, turn vehicles round. And the centre of it is like, we call it the magic roundabout.
Oh, really?
But it was always kind of earmarked for the structure. And when we had our first lot of volunteers over, and we were just trying to eye up the area and clear it of a few brambles. And once that strimming had been done, 2 days later, and it wasn't like it had been windy, crash, 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 great big oak falls right across the middle of that area.
Gosh.
Yeah. So the Guardian was giving a very strong message that no, not now, not yet, not yet. Didn't like the fact that more people were coming in, and also that we hadn't really properly initiated that area. So we hadn't done the healing work that was needed. And so we began to understand that if the wood doesn't want something, it will really tell us. So, and then we had another lot of volunteers. It was really weird. And they're all people who've got good intentions. 2 days later, great big branch across in front of the gate, the entrance gate. I mean, it doesn't get clearer than that, does it?
Wow.
So the land really, really speaks to you. It's whether you're tuned in. I mean, those are pretty obvious signs, but whether you're tuned in enough to kind of really listen to what the land wants really helps the land work with you. And when you're working together, synergistically, the love, the love that you have for your land. It's just, it's difficult to explain. It's just really, it's like a symbiosis. You're all together, you know.
Oh, is that barking?
No, that's the guardian. That's the raven.
Oh, the raven.
Raven on the north end.
Oh,
he's welcoming you. He's heralding you. Didn't you remember he did that last time?
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yes, they have a nest at that end. They like the tallest trees, so they've got one in this one, which is a really, really tall pine. You see? There's a big nest
yes, a huge nest.
Yeah, and then they've got one in the pine at the other end. So they come and say good morning to us from that one, because the earth is directly up from there.
Oh, I love them.
And then when we're down this end, they're coming, because when we were working here yesterday, they came and flew over a few times.
Do you have a fox here? I've got
quite a few.
Right. So just for some reason, I don't know where this image came from, but it's been the last couple of days of a fox looking in through a window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just saying hello. Yeah, you'll hear them barking quite a lot at night. And that can be quite eerie for some people, because they've got quite a screechy sound. But yeah, they're such stunning creatures. Very misunderstood by other people.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a little bit tidier than when you first came.
When I first moved into my home, literally within the first couple of weeks, I was up late drawing a picture of an angel with a fox. And it was around midnight, I was still up late, and for some reason I was drawn to open my blind, and it's literally coming up to midnight and there's a fox outside looking at me from the pavement. I've just been drawing a fox.
It's the diva saying hello.
Hello.
Well, maybe that's part of the energy you'll be working with.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
If they're introducing themselves and you're feeling that now. So we walked, it's about a quarter of a mile from where I live, at the top of the wood, and we walked down to the bottom and along the track all the way to the northern end, which is the boundary line, which is what the card predicted. And the guardians were here to greet us, which are the ravens. They have a nest on the boundary. They've been overseeing our little conversation that we've just had with the beings here. And obviously you got the download, which was very private to you. And I got a poem, because the divas always speak in verse with me, and I try and get everything written down as best I can, but they're always telling me off. I don't always have the words quite right. But they wanted to convey so much, and I just said that we haven't got time for you to say everything. What's it condensed down to? And you could see they've given me this huge, great big feather, which would be a writing quill. Mm-hmm. And it was, my size, basically. And I said, well, that's a lot to write. Can we just condense it down? So they said, well, in one word, thank you. Thank you to you for being here. And then, excuse me if I don't get this quite right. So the folk of Fae, upon this day, do speak our thanks we speak. For those who seek to gently follow a calling so deep that their very core does vibrate in awe to receive this calling. So we bless this face in this sacred place and invite you to listen within. Thus, this story begins. ...
Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, I'm really moved by that. Yeah.
So it is an invitation. It's an invitation to be still in these sacred places and go within. And once you find your stillness, then there is space for them to speak their truth to you. And it will come bit by bit because it is about trust. You know, they're very private and it takes a lot to have a really good communication with them, I would say. But the people that they do trust, then it becomes a beautiful conversation. And creatively, they help you a lot because you end up speaking in rhyme, speaking in poetry, speaking in song, because that's how they talk. They speak from their hearts, and that's how they know you're speaking your truth. So when something like that comes through, I always find it such an honour to be able to convey that, because that's them talking to you.
It is beautiful, and whilst we were sitting here, one of the things I will share is that and it's something that I've shared about before, is I heard a woman's voice singing. But at first, actually, when we first came into this space and sat down, I closed my eyes, I heard chimes. And then I heard a woman singing. And it's this wordless song, wordless kind of humming. It's not humming, it's just singing without words. Yeah.
Well, humming is known to have the highest healing vibration to it.
Right.
So I think that's why, because I often will just hear this, that going through. Yeah. And you feel it, you can feel it dance across your body.
Yeah, I'm still feeling it, but especially when I was really focusing, feeling such a rush of energy coming up through my legs, my feet.
Yes, we were talking about why this is an earthen floor. So you really, even though it's kind of an outdoor space, you're protected because it is shelter, but you are still completely connected because you can see everything, but you can also feel everything because we've left everything as natural as possible.
Yes. Yeah.
And all of the wood has come from the wood, and nothing was felled to make the posts or the lintels or anything. Obviously, apart from bamboo. but all of this was we call it a gift from wood. Yeah. We honour that.
Another thing I felt, must mention, was it felt like someone was stood behind me, sort of gently, I suppose, massaging my back. It's like little hands going up and down my back. Yeah.
Bit of healing work.
A bit of healing work going on, I think, yeah. So thank you for that. That was just amazing.
Yes, I do say when I do Reiki on people, I say I do have a lot of help. So I might be at your head, but you might be feeling something at your feet.
Yes.
And I do have specific Reiki guides, but I do get a lot of nature spirit help as well from the wood, and so much magic imbued into the work. And people feel it, you know. especially their feet. And it is about grounding of your energies, because I often say, because I'm very air element, and I know people in the past have said to me, well, how do you ground yourself? And I'm like, well, that's why I live here. I go out and ground myself all the time. But it's very important to maintain that balance, above, so below. And they convey that message to us a lot, is finding the balance, because we're like an interface, we're a bridge. People who are more sensitive to this, we're a bridge for them. So the fact that you're able to convey their messages accurately and in a really heartful way, they really appreciate, which is why I think they've given you such a big thank you today. Very grateful for what you're doing and raising the awareness of that and the gentleness of it, and that you need to have that kind of gentleness within you to be able to connect in. And to be able to do that is just being in nature and finding a still spot.
Yes.
Find your power spot. What draws you?
Yes.
What are you drawn to?
And they keep saying to me, I know, especially through the last year, which has been, won't go into, but it's been really, really challenging. And I've just been thinking, I'm just longing to just be totally immersed in nature. But I know part of my work is having to be in that material world, because I've got my children to support through university and all these kinds of things that are going on at the moment, sorting my new path out. But nature is where I retreat to refuel myself and reconnect with the fairies. I feel really blessed to have the connection I have with the fairies and other beings, and I really cherish it, and I feel really honoured to share their message and share, talk to lovely people like yourself who have a special connection that then it just all helps to share the love, doesn't it? And if someone hears one of my podcasts and it changes their heart or mind in some way, in a positive way, then that's a wonderful thing.
Well, we're spreading the frequencies, and anyone who is listening will pick up it's embedded. I always say, whenever I do any of my stuff and I'm speaking, the frequencies are embedded into my voice, so it will reach a wider audience. So it is important, even though it's something that I had shied away from, and a lot of people have said, I'm a bit croaky at the moment, but a lot of people have said, well, you've got a really good voice for voiceovers. I never really considered that, but I think it's because of being here, what they're picking up is the frequencies coming through and responding to that.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for your time today, Lisette. It's been really special to hear your story and be shown the wood and connect with you.
The guardians.
The guardians.
Don't forget us, they say.
Guardians. And all the other beings here. So, thank you. I'm looking forward to working with the space more.
More adventures. That's why they put the ... at the end of that poem. More to come.
More to come.
And the last word from the raven is...
Thank you to Lisette for welcoming me to her woodland home and sharing her inspiring journey with the land and its guardians. Lisette's experiences with fairies and other nature spirits remind us of the unseen world that exists alongside our own, inviting listeners to reconnect with the magic that surrounds us. It was a very uplifting conversation, and afterwards I felt so relaxed by the healing ambience that I had a really deep and refreshing night's sleep, which I was very thankful for. Each time I have been to the Woodland this year, I have come away with a sense of peace and healing. Also, we were amused by some playful things that seemed to happen during and after my visits, which none of us could explain, such as objects moving of their own accord. However, as Lisette explains in the interview, she prefers to keep these things private and allow visitors to discover the enchanting presences for themselves. I wish for you to connect with nature in the same way and find some respite in the coming days and weeks. Remember, I have included a link to my meditation series, Fairy Heart Awakening, in the episode description. Thank you for listening, and see you next time. Bye for now.